Right, are you Brian E. Davis?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, we have two cases here, both out of the state of Ohio, actually versus Brian Davis, which you are Brian E. Davis, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're going to be conducted by video for the Davis current the institution and Richland. Case number 20 CR 33, 20 CR 25. In both cases, the defendant was convicted of failure to register a change of address as a registered sex offender and was sentenced to a term of incarceration. He has filed his request for judicial release. So, Mr. Davis, anything you would like to say regarding your application?
Yes and no. I know we had spoke about a year ago. I got sentenced. They wanted me to do the 6 months to get my warrants taken care of. I've got Ross County taken care of. I've done 7 months that ran with my time with Highland County. I have a final disposition on July 12th at 2:30 for my misdemeanor warrant county. So after the 12th, all my warrants will be dealt with and cleared.
Okay. So the one in Ross County, it looks like you got 7 months.
Yes.
All right. And that's consecutive to this case. Have you filed for judicial release down there as well?
My time is served with Ross County.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So the only thing you're serving right now is the sentences from this court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Well, anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Davis?
Other than, I know we had discussed STAR program, and I'd also been offered last year to go to TCC at Portsmouth. If I do get my judicial, like that to be taken into consideration to be able to go to TCC. I honestly feel like I could benefit more from it.
What's the name of the place?
TCC, the Counseling Center.
Oh, the Counseling Center. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
I know I'd had a bed date before I was sentenced, and I was really looking forward to going to that. I guess I honestly feel like I could benefit more from it than I could STAR program, but I'll leave that completely up to you and let it be at your discretion.
Okay. All right. Well, Mr. Davis, both of these offenses were the same, and failure to register. I know your conviction was actually a juvenile adjudication. Since you have completed your Ross County sentence, I think it is appropriate for you to be judicial release. I'm going to grant you judicial release, but I'm going to do this. You're going to go to the STAR program first, and then on the aftercare, it'll be my strong suggestion and my recommendation for probation that they look at then taking you to the counseling center. And as a follow-up for transitional, we have a lot of people in those programs. They do a good job, but I think that it's more difficult for someone to transition to a strictly private treatment program from prison without first going through STAR, because they do offer a lot of additional classes and so forth, and that's usually about 90 to 100 days. Then from there, there could be a bed for you at the counseling center, and I'm very familiar with them. You use your entry center, and they do a really good job. So
you said the STAR program is 90 to 100 days?
Well, it could be to 180. It's on an average, about 100 to 90 to 100 days. A lot of that depends on how well the person does. If a person's not doing well, not getting it, it could go up to 180 days. Generally, the longer you're there, the worse you're doing. If you're doing well, it's usually closer to 90 than it is to 180, obviously. So here are the conditions. There is a bed available for you on the 7th. That's next Tuesday, and we're been working on the logistical issues because of the holiday this weekend. We've got people out at the institution and the sheriff. We have laid groundwork to try to make sure we can get you released on Tuesday. You'll be released to the custody of the sheriff. and then conveyed to the county jail, and you'll be held there until the 7th, and then at that time they'll transfer you to the STAR program. So the conditions of your release are that you will be released on Tuesday, the 6th, to the sheriff, spend the night there, and then start your 3 years of control. Conditions are that you're to obey all laws, all jurisdictions, conduct yourself in a law-abiding manner at all times. You must report when and as directed. You must be truthful in all statements that you make to the probation department, and any questions that you answer that they may ask you. You'll be required to report as and when directed as an intake. Keep them informed of your residence, place of employment at all times. You may not change your address without prior written permission. You may not leave the state of Ohio at any time without prior written permission. And if you do, you have to have that with you at all times. You may not, once you're released from STAR, enter upon the ground correctional facility, nor may you communicate with or attempt to communicate with anyone who's an inmate in any of those facilities without prior written permission. You'll be prohibited from purchasing, and because of your drug conviction, you're not permitted to have those anyway, because that would be another felony under the state federal law. But in this case, while you're on community control, you're not permitted as a condition to have firearms, ammunition, dangerous ordnance, or weapons of any other type. You're not to purchase, possess, use, or have under control any alcoholic beverage or any kind of controlled substance, drug abuse, or instrument, device, or thing may be used to administer them or prepare them for administration unless you have a lawful prescription, and you must provide a copy of that within 24 hours of receipt. You're not permitted to be in places where alcohol beverages are being sold or consumed even as otherwise lawful. You're not to associate with anyone that might have been co-defendant. I don't think there are any, but any other person has a record, criminal record, member of a gang or other criminal group, or a person who can influence you to commit a criminal offense or violate these conditions. You're not to marry or establish cohabitation in a common law marriage type relationship with another person without written permission. Must report any contact with law enforcement or any arrest, citation, conviction, or other charge of violating the law not later than the next business day after that occurs. Must provide your financial officer or supervising officer financial information so they can determine your ability to pay any fees or costs. If you are referred by the probation department for an evaluation or for any other type of treatment or counseling, then you're to enroll in and follow that for pendency of this action. You're to pay the court costs, make payment arrangements to do that, and as a special condition, you're required to successfully complete the STAR program. And when I say completed, that means you got to do 100%. You can't do 90% or 95%. It's got to be 100%. And if you don't complete it, then you're going to go back to prison because you can't get through STAR. Then there's no reason in taking wasting time to try to see if you can make it on community control and probation. And as I said, you'll remain in jail until that time. Now, as far as aftercare, again, that's required. And aftercare, in this situation, I think ought to include going to the use reentry center, that counseling center for aftercare and transitional housing and further drug treatment. But again, they'll have to determine that at the time once they see how you've done in the program. And again, if they tell you that they think that's what you should do, then that's what you do. They can't make you go because they're not law enforcement. Once they release you, they can't go out and do anything. But I'm telling you that if they say you should do it, then you're to do it, even if you don't want to, because it'll be the best thing for you and give you a much better chance to succeed. Okay, so and I know, see, is that your caseworker there in the room with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I'm the secretary.
Oh, okay. Well, he's being released Tuesday, so we've contacted our sheriff to try to contact the appropriate people there at DRC. I guess it's the Bureau of Sentence Computation, but the sheriff's going to be trying to get up there by early afternoon on Monday or Tuesday to get him and bring him back here so we can get him into a bed on the 7th. Because if we can't get him on that day on the 6th, then we may have to put it off for a couple of weeks. I'll tell you now that if that happens, Mr. Davis, if we run into some logistical challenges because of the weekend where they can't get it scheduled, then, your release date will be delayed until the day before the next available bed date is struck. Okay? All right, do you have any questions?